Welcome to my channel, Alchemy with Melanie, where today we'll be discussing the new moon that's happening here on August 27th, 2022. And we're just going to be going over the collective themes that I'm intuitively picking up on that are happening within our collective. So this is going to be coming up in the way of the collective shadows, collective emotions, collective lessons that we're all learning together, and things like epiphanies and realizations that we're all coming to. So what we need to realize is that we are all one. So regardless if we all look separate, at the end of the day, we really are all one and we come from the same source. And so this means that what one person does or goes through or heals, it's going to create a ripple effect, and it's going to help to heal everyone else on the planet that is with you, because we really are all one tribe. We're all brothers and sisters. And so the healing work that you do on yourself is going to affect everyone else, especially within your lineage and within your family and within the people that are directly surrounding you. So the impact that you have on everyone by doing your own inner work is truly an amazing thing. It really goes a really long way. And so the best way to change the world is absolutely to change yourself. There's no doubt about it. So one of the things that might be coming up for you this month is just that you're really starting to step into your own, and that you're really not caring what other people think anymore, and that you realize that the best way for you to live your life is to live your life for you. So that means like doing the things that you love, being the person that you are, and just really showing up authentically in the best way possible to represent your soul's truth and to represent your own unique self. Like, none of us are the same, and that's why we were created. We weren't created to be the same for a reason. We each come with a unique set of gifts. We each come with, you know, this perfect signature of who we are. And so the best way that I always explain this to people is like, if you're not shining your light as the person that you came here to be and that God or the universe intended you to be, then the world would be at a disservice. Because think about the people that you look up to, or the people that have inspired you, like your favorite musician or your favorite actor, or your favorite author. Now, imagine that person didn't believe in themselves and they never went for the opportunities that were given to them. They never really stepped into themselves, and they never put themselves out there enough to share themselves with the world. Now, how sad would that be, right? When you think about it, because you can feel that loss that you would have. I mean, you wouldn't know that they weren't there because you would have never known. But when you have the comparison and the contrast of thinking about this person actually being there and this person not being there, like, it doesn't make you feel good. You're like, oh wow, my life would be a little bit emptier if that person wasn't there. Or if that person hadn't influenced me, like, these things in my life would have never happened, or I never would have become the person that I became. So um that's a really good way to put it into perspective about how important it is for you to just be yourself, right? You're not meant to be anyone else. You're not meant to follow in anyone's footsteps. You're not meant to be who people want you to be. It's not your job to be who your parents want you to be, who society wants you to be. And the sad thing is that we're just so programmed by society and by our ancestry and by TV and social media and all these little communities that we're in, right? Like, we're in communities of, churches or religious groups. We're in communities of schools. We're in communities with our job. We're in communities with our friends, with our family, and then our extended family, right? So we're part of so many different communities in our life and so many different circles that sometimes you can get confused really about who you are. And so I think just what I've really noticed in people in the last month is that people are finally taking a stand for themselves and just saying, like, listen, this is who I am. I'm not going to change myself. I really just want to show up in my truth. And it's such a beautiful thing. If we had more people who are in their truth, we'd have so much less anger and so much less hostility in the world. And, there would just be so much more genuine happiness. So, like, don't you realize that you're good at the things that you're good at for a reason, and that you have the dreams that you have for a reason? So, whatever you can see in your mind, I think Bob Proctor says this, you can hold it in your hand, right? So, you were implanted with the specific dream sets that you have for a reason. So, if you have this dream that you want to be an artist, or you have this dream that you want to be an actress, or you have this dream you want to own a farm, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that you continuously keep recycling back to, it's because it's imprinted inside of you for a reason. Like that seed was planted inside of your soul so that you would remember this and that you would step up to the plate and do exactly what it is that your soul came here intending to do. Right? So it's really important that you follow those little intuitive nudges and those things that you love. Like people always think, oh, well, I love doing that, so that must mean it needs to be a hobby. No, the things that you love are truly the arrows pointing towards what you need to be doing on this earth. So it's only your belief systems that prevent you from making those things a job. And it's only your belief systems that are preventing you from creating this as your life that you make money from and that you show up for every day and that you get to offer who you are to the world. And that's how you make money. That's how you make a living. Like that's what we're meant to do, but we've just been so programmed otherwise. So, but all it's taking is, specific people to start to make these changes, and it's going to keep having this ripple effect, and we've been seeing it every single day. Like people are starting to just march to the beat of their own drum, and they're starting to make money just by being who they are, right? This is happening every single day on YouTube, on Instagram, and it's really cool because we're actually seeing people way more deeply than we ever have, right? So um follow those inclinations, follow those things that light you up, follow the things that make you feel like you would love to do every single day that wouldn't feel like a job. Like your job isn't supposed to be something that you're miserable at doing. Your job is supposed to be your joy of being, okay? J-O-B, joy of being. It's not supposed to be a horrible job that you show up to every day, 9 to 5, you hate your life, you go home, you sleep, you eat, and then you do it all again the next day, and then you have 2 weeks vacation. Like that's not how we're really meant to live. And yes, we all need to pay the bills, and we all maybe needed to kind of take time doing something like this, but this doesn't have to be your reality forever. And we're all starting to realize that, life would be a much better place if what I was doing every day was a better reflection of who I am, and I was actually better able to serve other people. Because when we're showing up from a place where we're really actually excited about what we're doing, it really shows. And it affects every single person around you. So it's not only affecting you, but it's affecting the people that you live with, it's affecting the people that you work with, and it's affecting the people that you come into contact with at your work, right? So just think about how amazing the world would be if we all came to this realization and we all started taking the steps towards getting there. I know it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but it's something to start thinking about for yourself. If I could wake up every single day and do what I absolutely love to do for the right reasons, then do it, And when I say the wrong reasons, like I'm going to give you an example. So I remember I said to somebody once, what would you be if you didn't have to worry about money or training or anything? I could just snap my fingers and you can be this thing. And they said, well, I want to be a rapper. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you really? And I mean, no judgment, but I'm really surprised by that. And I said, can I ask you why? And they said, oh, because, they get all these girls and all this money and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So here is an example of somebody who's coming from this, not from their heart, but from their ego. So this is not something that's going to happen for them. And if it did happen for them, it's not going to stick and it's not going to bring them fulfillment. It might stick, but it's not going to bring them fulfillment. Right. So, just know that whatever you follow from your heart will always have a way of working out. The universe will conspire with you to help you if you keep showing up. Like you just need to co-create with the universe. So that means you need to have the thought about it. You need to address your belief system. So that means that like if you're thinking about this thought of who you want to be or what you want your life to look like, but then you're shitting on your own parade basically about saying like, oh, well, I don't deserve that, or good things don't happen to me, or oh, that's just dreaming, you're blocking your own manifestations, you're sabotaging yourself and getting in your own way. So you also need to address those belief systems that are sneaking up consciously and subconsciously and kind of sabotaging your dreams for you. So again, we need to think about what it is that we want. We need to think about how we would feel when we get there. And we need to start creating that feeling right away. You need to act as if you already have this and that you are going to be getting it. Don't get in your own way and tell yourself all these reasons why not. Start to tell yourself all the reasons why yes. And like I said, like any dream that you have is there for a reason. So I don't dream to be a surgeon because that's just not something I'm interested in. And it's just not, it doesn't resonate with me. I don't have the skills for it. And that's okay because we're not all meant to be the same. The world would not go round if we were all the same. It would be a pretty boring place. It wouldn't be polarizing. And we all we all enhance each other's lives by bringing in these individual tools, these individual pieces of wisdom and experience. Like it really is important that we have this diversity, and it's really what makes the world so beautiful and what makes life worth living. So just really start to pay attention to those things that you wanted to be when you were a child. Like, do you remember what you wanted to be when you were a child growing up? Do you remember what you wanted to be 5 years ago? And can you really think about every time you see a specific job or something you like to do, can you start to think about how, what if you could do that for a living? What if? Just start asking the question. The moment that you ask a question to the universe, it will start to show you the answer. It's amazing. So start asking questions if you're not sure about what your purpose is, and you will start to be shown the way, one step at a time. These things don't happen overnight. It's a mountain. You can't climb it overnight. It's baby steps, and it's just continuing to follow your own intuition and continuing to follow the signs that the universe gives you, and not sabotaging yourself when you're given opportunities. So you really truly can create anything and be anything. I really hope that you know that. I've proven this to myself over and over again, and it really just comes down to like how much you believe in yourself and how much you're willing to put in the action, and be patient to wait for the answers. 6 years ago, I opened a wellness center, and this was a big dream of mine, and I don't know how I did it still to this day, but it was a big place. It was 5,000 square feet. I had up to 35 staff at any given time. We had 2 yoga studios, massage clinics, acupuncture clinics. I hosted new moon circles, full moon circles. I hosted lots of workshops, my Reiki trainings. Obviously we had Reiki there as well, and we had nutrition, and we had like a crystal shop and like a little metaphysical shop in there. So we had like singing bowls, crystals, smudging supplies. We had like spiritual books, self-help books, self-improvement. Like we had everything there. We had essential oils. Anyway, so it was a great little store, and we hosted trainings of all sorts, and so many different workshops, and it was a huge business, and I had it for 6 years until COVID ate it. So, but it's okay. Like I said, you have to let go of things sometimes because you need to create new space. And for me, I knew that my time was coming up to an end. My entire life changed. So I went through a divorce, and I moved and everything, and just who I was not that person anymore. And so I was growing, and I was changing, and my soul was asking more from me. And so I gracefully let go because I just felt like everything was pointing me in the direction that, like, okay, you built something really amazing that had 5-star reviews all around on Google, and that changed people's lives and saved certain people's lives. Like it was truly the most beautiful facility with the most beautiful people, and it's something I'm so proud of. But I'm also ready for my new chapters in life, and I'm okay to let it go because I've spent my entire life learning how to let go with ease and grace. So ease and grace is not something I learned overnight, and trust me, I learned the hard way. So you truly can do anything. Okay, when I opened this business, I had $500 and I had no help from no one. Like I had no help at all from anyone. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know where I was going to get the money. I didn't know. I literally knew nothing. And I don't know how I accomplished it, but I did because I just kept showing up every day. I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. I kept asking questions to the universe. I kept praying. I kept looking for solutions. Like you can fall down a million times, but you always have to get back up. And that's how you become successful, right? So I promise you can truly do anything. You just have to really believe in yourself and just believe in the universe and just have faith that there is something larger out there supporting you, because it truly is. Do you think that the creator that created you by mistake? Do you think the creator created the trees by mistake, and the ocean and the sky and the stars and the moon? No, if something is that intelligent and can create a life and a world so beautiful and so detailed, don't you think that there's a detail and a map to your life too, and a purpose to you? Another thing to consider is like, what are you naturally good at? What are you naturally gifted at? Like, somebody who's really good at cooking, why aren't you making a living off of that? If you're really good at painting or drawing, why aren't you making money off of that? If you're really good at being a seamstress, why aren't you doing that? Like we, if you're really good at creating these things out of wood, whatever, it doesn't matter. But why aren't you doing that? Because we just think like, oh, I can't make a living off of that. We just make up our mind. So we're like prophesizing. Self self prophesizing. Wow. It's like 1 a.m. here. I'm pretty tired. Um anyways, and start to think about every single day, like when you're making decisions about where you're going forward in your life, ask yourself, like, is this getting me closer to where I'm going, or is it taking me further away from it? So say yes to the things that are hell yes, and say no to the things that are hell no. And really be clear about, like, okay, listen, life is short. We don't know when our time is going to end. So am I going forward in my life? Am I going towards where I want to go? Am I going from A to B, or am I just like kind of going from A to B and I'm just flailing along the way, and I have no goals and I have no plan and I have no discipline, right? Which brings me to my next point. This new moon is really highlighting for us where we need better boundaries with ourselves. And so, how have you been wasting your time? And what have you been wasting your time on? Like, have you been wasting your time on things that are unimportant and people that are unimportant? It's really easy to fall into traps of just like saying yes out of like habit, and saying yes just because we're people pleasing. That doesn't get you anywhere. Your life is short, okay? So you don't know when you're gonna kick the bucket. You don't know when you could possibly not have good health. So you need to start living your life right now. Get going on it, okay? So better boundaries with your time means having better discipline every day. So this is being really highlighted for us right now, that like, where do we need a better routine? Where are we losing hours in the day doing absolutely nothing? Where are we not getting enough rest? Because rest is very important. If we don't take that downtime, we don't have the energy for the uptime. So rest is the utmost priority, and it replenishes you and keeps you healthy so that you can accomplish the things that you need to accomplish, and so that you can also be there for the other people in your life once you have yourself set. So remember, fill up your cup. Then once your cup is full, then from that place of overflow, you can help other people and you can inspire them and you can show up for them. But until then, you gotta just show up for you. So take care of yourself is also something that's being really highlighted for us. What improvements do you need to make on your sleeping schedule? What improvements do you need to make on your eating schedule? Remember, you are what you eat. So if you are eating food of a lower vibration, and you're eating chips and you're eating frozen dinners and you're eating McDonald's all the time, like, it's going to put you in a low vibration. And when you're in a low vibration, you're not capable of manifesting things in a high vibration. So it's going to manifest experiences for you that are less than desirable, which means your environment, which means things that happen to you, and which means relationships and people that show up into your life. So if you're looking around at your life and you're not liking what you're seeing right now, ask yourself, like, how can I increase my vibration? It's worth a shot, isn't it? Like, it's not going to harm you, right? So increasing your vibration is going to be the food that you're eating. So eating plant-based food. So food that grows from the ground has its own vibration. It is living. Has life force energy flowing through it. It grew from the ground and the soil and the earth, the water, And so that's one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Making sure you're getting sunshine, you're going outside, making sure that you have time to yourself and stillness, and making sure that you have quiet time and time for reflection. And then also just making sure that you're finding movement for your body. So whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you like to dance, maybe you like to go to the gym and work out, maybe you just like to walk, maybe it's yoga. Find what it is that feels good for you, because if you don't like doing it, there's no point. You're going to end up injuring yourself, or you're just not going to go, and then you're going to waste your money on a membership or whatever it is. Like, don't force yourself. Just find something that you actually like to do, or that is more than tolerable for you, and do that, and don't worry about anything else. Okay. So another way that you can increase your vibration is to be around things that make you happy. So, like, if you love animals, be around animals. If you love nature, be in nature. Watch funny movies. Don't watch things that are dark and that, are riddled with, like, drugs and drama and violence. Like, that is not going to help you. So as much as you're watching what you're putting in your mouth, you also need to watch what you are seeing. Okay, so what you're taking in through your eyes, and then what you're hearing. So the type of music that you're listening to, the movies that you're listening to and watching, right? TV shows, like, if you're watching drama-filled TV shows all the time, like, that is going to affect you, whether you recognize it or not, right? Same with who you're allowing into your life, right? Like, you're the sum total of the top 5 people that you spend your time with. So if you're giving time to people who are victims and martyrs, and they never do anything to make their life better, and they're in a really poor state of health, and they have poor mindset, they're very negative, and you look around at their life, and if are these top 5 people that you hang around with, if you wouldn't take advice from them, or you don't look up to them, or they don't inspire you, you got to find new people, because you're only going to get as far as those top 5 people in your life. You can only go as far as the other people that are in your boat rowing with you, right? So make sure that the people that are in your boat are actually on your team. Make sure that they are, it's an equal relationship. Make sure that you love to be around them, and that there's this equal benefit between the both of you. Make sure that you feel better when you leave these, or neutral or better when you're leaving these interactions, not worse. That's a huge indicator that, like, this person's got to go. So that brings me to my next point, is that this new moon for us has shown us, like, where we have outgrown people. This is not coming from a place of ego when I say that. Sometimes as we shift and change and grow and heal, it affects our vibration. When our vibration becomes affected, people are no longer in resonance with us. That the vibrational frequency is not a match anymore. Okay. So it's like, you can't tune into that radio station. And if it is, like, kind of awkward, and you're bumping against each other, like, it's not working. Right. So, sometimes we grow out of things, which means that sometimes you're a fish that outgrows your bowl, and now you need a tank. And that's great. That just shows you how much you've been growing and changing. And you know what? It's really hard to leave people behind when you grow and change. But if that's the journey that you're on, you better get used to it, because it's going to happen for a long time. If you're not shifting and changing, you're not growing, right? So start getting comfortable with the discomfort, and just know that sometimes our soul contracts, they're done. And that's great. That means you both learned what you needed to learn when you came into each other's lives, and you'll see each other again as a soul in another life, or when your time here has passed. And so you can always let go of people in a loving way. Like, it doesn't have to be, please don't make it be in a dramatic way. That's not good for anyone, and that creates karma between you. So it's just really important to know when it's time to move on. Sometimes people in your life for a reason, sometimes they're there for a season, sometimes they're there for a lifetime. You just need to distinguish and learn what that is, and use your intuition, and when things are working out, they're working out. When things are continuously not working out and they're dramatic, like it's a pretty good indicator that it's not a good match anymore. Sometimes you gotta let people go. And when you let people go, you make space in your life for these new great people who are completely aligned to you and your new truth and what you embody and who you are and are going where you're going. Right? Like if you're trying to get somewhere in life and you keep holding yourself back for these people, and you keep kind of playing small or dumbing yourself down or trying to fit in somewhere where you don't belong anymore, you're holding yourself back and you're sabotaging yourself. Okay. You have to let go of old things in order to move forward in your life, to receive the things that you really want, the things that feel good, the things that are harmonious for you, the things that are going to bring you happiness, and the things that are going to feel so fulfilling and just like such a good fit. Like this truly is something that happens in life. So if you're listening to this and you're watching me, I was once that person that was like, Kate, is everything just shit? Like everything? Like, is there such thing as a job I love? Is there such thing as like people that actually get me like on a deep level? Now the only people that are in my life get me on the deepest, truest, most vulnerable level that I've ever had in my life. And I look back and I think like, wow, what a shame that that was how my life it never used to be like this, but at the same time it provided me that contrast to show me like what is like absolutely not in alignment to what absolutely is. And so it's very easy for me now to recognize when something's just really not a good fit, and I'm really easily able to let it go now and to say no, because I know now what gets replaced with that is something so much sweeter. And it takes time, right? Like everything takes time. So you're going to learn in increments. That's how it works. So like you're going to continuously upgrade. Think of yourself as an iPhone, iPhone 9, iPhone 10, iPhone 11. Like it's going to happen in stages for you. So um but anyways, that does bring me to my next point as well. So as a collective, we've really been making peace with the past energetically. And that means that we've been collapsing old timelines. So basically, we exist in multiple timelines because whenever we don't finish off a lesson, or whenever we have trauma, or whenever we have an abrupt ending in our life, we can become very fragmented. And that means that like there are pieces of ourselves, fragments of ourselves that are elsewhere that are still held up in different timelines. So there's still parts of you that are living in the past, basically, that are unresolved. And they're anchoring you to these old timelines and these old versions of yourself. And we have been rapidly shifting this and healing this within the last 2 years of what's been happening with COVID. Some people are very aware of this, some people unaware. And for some people, it's very conscious, some people very subconscious. Anyway, so we've been collapsing these timelines. So it's basically you resolving these pieces of yourself that stay fragmented and stay in these alternate timelines, that not alternate timelines, but old timelines, that previous versions of you, and you basically heal them so that you can recall them back to yourself, and so that you can find like more wholeness, and so that you become more integrated with your inner child, and you become more integrated with your soul, because there's less of you that's living in the past. So anyway, we've been rapidly collapsing these timelines and finishing them off and then integrating them. And especially in the last month, it's been happening just over and over and over again, because we've been shown all of the weak spots and all of the places where we still have these open-ended placements that need resolving. So sometimes how this works is we're going to collapse timelines in our sleep, but mostly in our waking life. So what's probably happened to you in the last month is that you've been presented with old people from your past, or you've been presented with remembering past versions of yourself. So that's either like watching it in a movie, or like still seeing a past version of yourself in a movie, or a past time in your life. It might be through a conversation with a friend where you guys bring up like, oh my God, do you remember this when that happened? Or, oh my God, I forgot about that person, that this happened to me, and whatever. Or maybe you have a dream about something that's happened to you before, or you start dreaming about like an old person from your life, or maybe an ex comes back into your life. And it's, now really showing you how far you've come and how much you're a different person now, and showing you, what type of wounding you had at the time that you dated that person, why you would have attracted them. So all of these things are happening right now. And like another way that this could manifest is like maybe you're going through some old boxes and you find some old souvenirs or old mementos, or maybe you're presented with a relationship that reminds you of an old one, or a friendship that reminds you of an old one that's outserved you, but that maybe you still had a little bit of healing to do around it. Or maybe it's a job. Maybe you got a job opportunity and you're like, oh, is this a choice I would make in my past or now? And oh, I remember now when I was having that job in 2005. And so this can manifest in multiple ways, but what's really happening is that you're collapsing timelines, you're basically bringing yourself to a close, you're healing a lot of aspects of yourself, you're healing a lot from the past, and you're letting go, you're breaking free of the chains from the past. And the other ways that you might see that you're doing this, the evidence of it is like maybe you've gotten rid of a bunch of old clothes that just you don't wear anymore. Maybe you're getting rid of anything in your house that reminds you of any relationship from the past, or any part of you that's just kind of gone and dead, right? Like as we shift and evolve, the versions of us do too. So, when we have these energetic ties to these things in our homes and the clothes that we wear and souvenirs and things like that, we still keep ourselves stuck in the past. And so sometimes we really feel this like internal need to shift the energy around in our homes and our clothes, and to get rid of those things that remind us of the past. This also might look like getting a haircut. I have seen so many people getting totally different haircuts, transforming their style altogether, just changing their appearance, ending relationships, ending certain habits. That scared me. Okay, it was something loading in the background, but I forgot about it. So, anyway, ending certain habits, and then just cleaning and tidying up your space so that it feels better for you. Rearranging furniture, getting to that pile of stuff that you've been putting off for so long, and it just feels like you've been making peace with the past energetically and emotionally. Maybe you've made some amends with people, maybe you've let go of a lot, and maybe in your dreams you're doing a lot of this. Sometimes we can't accomplish this work in our waking state, and so we go into our dream state to heal these things. So if you're waking up remembering your dreams, it's a great practice to write them down. I write down my dreams every morning, every single morning, and then I've done it for 8 years now, and so I easily recall them as soon as I wake up in the morning. And everything that happens in my dreams usually is either it always comes true, or it gives me a lot of clues about where I need healing still, because it'll bring past situations into my dreams, or it'll give me a lot of like thoughts for the future, or it'll, just sometimes it just gives me wisdom. Like it's really a great practice to write down your dreams, and you get better at it every time that you do it. And it's like building a muscle, right? At the gym. So you start to build up this memory, this muscle memory, right? So, anyway, so you've probably really seen how far you've come in the last month from who you used to be, from where you were. You can really see these internal shifts. And then what this does is it makes you very excited about the future, because you're like, oh my God, yes, now I remember I'm capable of so much. I've been through so many things. I can do anything. And so it's one of those things where now you realize that it's time to move forward. You're completely breaking free of the chains of the past. And it really feels like everyone right now is just shifting in such a big way, and it's so exciting. It feels like everyone's stepping into their power and into their passion, and it feels like things that were stuck for so long, and things that just weren't working, or things that weren't moving forward, or things that just wouldn't end, are finally coming to an end and a close. And it's like, oh my God, I can finally breathe, and I can finally move forward, and I can finally see a future, and I can finally see what's up ahead of me, and I can actually be excited about it. So that's really what's going on with the collective, and it feels really, really, really good. It's a really nice change that we've really been needing. So just, to continue with the process, just do as much as you can to kind of clean house in your mind, in your heart, in your phone, even on your computer. Go through your files, go through your filing. Like anything that you do externally is going to shift you internally, and vice versa, right? So those days that you find yourself just completely rearranging everything and getting rid of stuff, it's because you've made an internal shift inside of yourself, and you've done some emotional or spiritual healing as well, right? So anyway, now that you have this new space in your life because you've gotten rid of so many things from the past, physically or energetically or emotionally, you can now feel the doors opening for you, and things can start to be excited. Things can move forward. You're going to feel more motivated. You're going to have a clear vision for the future. You're going to start all of a sudden getting ideas where before you were maybe stuck and you just didn't know, like, what do I even do? What's the next steps? What's the next answers? And it's like, it's just going to come to you so easily now that you've made all this new space. So you can feel these possibilities brewing, and you're really just ready to step into your own and step into yourself, be yourself fully, trust yourself, and realize that like you are your best investment. There is nothing in the world that will reap a bigger reward than you. You are your best investment. So treat yourself accordingly, believe in yourself accordingly, show up for yourself accordingly, pamper yourself accordingly, treat yourself as if you are the most prized possession in the world. Give yourself everything that you ever needed. Don't be, someone who's trying to get it externally. Get it internally, get it from yourself, because there's no one who's going to save you. No one is going to step up and do things for you. No one's going to be your savior. No one's going to give you the answers. No one's going to do it for you. It's all up to you at the end of the day. So everything comes down to you. So it's all about the choices that you make, the steps that you take, and really just be your very best friend, your very best partner, your very best parent to yourself, your very best cheerleader, your very best motivator. Just do it, because no one's going to do it for you. So really invest in yourself. Keep those boundaries heavy, okay, on yourself. Discipline yourself, have a routine. Stop not committing to what you're committing to. Just do it. Follow through. Get things done. Check things off the list. You're going to feel so good. Once you get something done, you want to just keep doing more. And it becomes really, it produces endorphins that make your brain want to continue to get this gratification, right? So keep that discipline. Take really good care of yourself, and have just really good boundaries with people in your life too, because remember, you teach people how to treat you, and so you get to set up the parameters on how people can have access to you, when, how they treat you. That's really all up to you. And so I know in the last month, one of the things that's really come up, even in my own life and in a lot of people I've been talking to, is they've had an opportunity to react differently than they ever have. And so that means, like, say somebody like your mom or your mother-in-law always just pushes your buttons all the right ways. It's like they just know how to set off the volcano in you. Maybe you're noticing a huge difference in the last month about how you're reacting differently, or that you're not reacting at all. So the thing is that when you emotionally react to someone, what someone is either doing to you or not doing to you, you're giving your power away, right? So like you're rendering yourself powerless, and you're rendering yourself as almost a victim, because essentially you're letting people steal from you. So if you say something to me and it makes me really angry and I lose control of myself, I'm basically saying I have no control over myself, and that you have all the power over me, and that I don't even have like my own inner authority, because I'm allowing you to control my mood or my decisions, right? So if I can let you affect me that much, that means I really am not as in control of myself as I like to think that I am, and I don't have very much sovereignty over myself or my own life. So that's a challenging one. but it's really good to learn how to disarm our triggers. So heal the things that it is evoking in us, because if it wasn't evoking something in us that this person was doing or not doing, we like it wouldn't matter to us if it wasn't an active memory. So it's telling you that there's something deep down in there that needs healing. It's a wound, and once you start to heal it, your whole life will change. And then those teachers and those things that are aggravating you and showing up in your life will stop showing up, because there's no need for you to learn that lesson anymore, and there's no need for your healing anymore because you've done it, right? So do the healing for you so that you can find happiness and peace, and so that things do not make you react, and that things just aren't gonna take you off of your trajectory of balance and peace and self-containment. So anyway, so this brings me just to the last point, that you are rebirthing the new you, and you don't quite know who yet you're going to be, and you're on that path, but it's a beautiful thing, because you basically have to just keep putting one foot in front of the other and just free fall off the cliff and just let the universe support you. And you don't need to have control. We really aren't in control, and control is an illusion. So all you need to do is just surrender and have ultimate faith in yourself, and that your life has a plan and a purpose to it, and that you're going towards it, and that you'll do whatever you can to protect your own peace and happiness. So anyway, that's my new moon update. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I hope you have a wonderful new moon, and I hope to see you soon on the next update. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Alchemy with Melanie. If this video resonated with you and you've seen these themes coming up in your own life, I would love to hear it if you want to drop a comment below.